28 years later. 28 years later is the new. Who the fuck is in this film? This is the new Jodie Comer film, starring Jodie Comer and Ara Taylor Johnson, ATJ, and Ralph Fiennes, of course. And then Rocco. Is it Rocco? Who's the main character in this? What the boy? That's weird. That I can't like. Why is IMDb not showing me the main character? Because Jodie Comer and Aaron Taylor Johnson and Ralph Fiennes are in this film, but there's somebody else in this film who is definitely the main character of the whole film. I think it might be Rocco. Is that his name? No, it's not him. Who is it then? Come on, IMDb. Buck up. It's because this is a coming of age. This is really a coming of age movie. Alfie Williams. Damn, he's all the way. Go on to IMDb. These are all the names that come up before Alfie Williams. Oh fuck, I lost it. Okay, IMDb goes 28 years later. I'm looking at the names. Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ralph Fiennes, Rocco Haynes, who's in it for about a minute at the beginning, Hayley Flaherty, I don't know who that is, Harriet Taylor, don't know who that is, Hannah Allen Robertson, don't know who that is, Annabelle Graham, this isn't even alphabetical, Olivia Morley, Theodora Rawlings, Darcy Smith, Isla Vickers, Kim Allen, Sandy Batchelor, and then Alfie Williams, who plays Spike. Alfie Williams is the main character in the film. This is his story. It's his coming of age story, right? It's about him. He's 12 years old, and it starts off with him in a small community in England during this zombie outbreak, this rage infection. This has been going on for 28 years, so was born and this is all he knows. He's in this tiny community, which is sort of this kind of, I guess, a little island just off Scotland that you can walk to when the tide is out, but when the tide is in, it's an island. So he lives on this island, and so it starts off with him and his dad, Aaron Taylor Johnson. They go onto the mainland. The tide is out, so they can walk from their little island all the way to the mainland. And this is the first time Spike, played by Alfie Williams, the main character, is going to go to the mainland, and he's going to learn to do some hunting, and the dad is going to teach him how to survive, basically. And usually the community wait for kids to turn 14 before they do this, but he's like, look, my kid's 12, he's ready. So he does that. That's half the film. The second half of the film is Alfie Williams' mum, played by Jodie Comer, is very sick. And Alfie Williams has learnt that there is a doctor on the mainland, played by Ralph Fiennes. So even though the dad isn't into this idea, Alfie Williams sneaks his mum off this little island back onto the mainland, and the mum has some kind of mental issues happening and a sickness happening. He walks across the country with her to find this doctor. And they find the doctor, and then Alfie Williams goes off on his own. It's all Alfie Williams. It's an Alfie Williams story. The first half is Alfie Williams and his dad. The second half is Alfie Williams and the mum. And then after both halves are finished, there's like a little bit at the end. So bizarre that Alfie Williams is so low on the IMDb list. But hey, it is what it is. This movie was very punk. Very just lots of jump cuts to old footage of the old British Royal Britannia Army or whatever, and then just many jump cuts and kind of punk music playing in the background, and you're just like, wow, this is very punk. And you get the sense, and this is true, it was filmed on iPhone, feels like it's filmed on iPhone. It's just sort of very, very punk and raw and British. It's very British, very much like the original 28 Days Later. They've just made it gritty, I guess, really gritty. The scene where Aaron Taylor Johnson and Spike are running back from the mainland to the island, whilst one of the main sort of, I can't remember what they're called, but these sort of alpha zombies are chasing him. So they're running up in this causeway. The tide is not quite out, but not quite in. So it's just in that to their ankles. They're running. It's such a beautifully shot scene. It's so crazy. I was on the edge of my seat. I was about to fall off of my seat watching this. And yeah, like that scene was incredible. Like, what can you do with an iPhone? So much, it's insane. And the boy was a great actor. The boy who played Spike. Alfie, what's his name? Alfie Williams was an insanely good actor. There's such a funny scene where is he Norwegian or Swedish? This guy from the army his boat ends up getting like sort of stranded in England, so he's stuck in England now. Because England is like the only country that is overrun with zombies, and it's just this giant quarantined island now, and the rest of the world just make sure it stays quarantined. But this soldier has ended up accidentally sort of drifting, and he's on this island. He's on England now, and he knows, well, there's no coming off this island, so I'm just going to have to live here. And he bumps into Alfie and his mum, Spike and his mum. And he's like showing the little boy picture of his girlfriend or his fiance, and the boy's like, "What's wrong with her face?" And this like Swedish or Norwegian, some kind of Scandinavian guy was so like proud of he's dating this model, but it's obviously like this model who's just had so much plastic surgery and lip filler. He's like, the little boy's like, there's a girl who's like allergic to shellfish who had something similar with her lips. It's just, yeah, the actor is really funny. He's got really good charisma. He really has both sides. He's got the Aaron Taylor Johnson side, the hunting side, the tough side. That's really part of Spike's character, and the mum, the more loving side, the side who remembers family and stuff. Like, that's all part. Like, he's a real amalgamation of both his mum and dad. It's really well written character, I must say. And obviously Ralph Fiennes is great. He's just such a great actor. And they have some really great conversations about death, like meditations about death and what it means, and the types of ways you can die and the types of deaths there are, especially in a world with zombies. And so yeah, just I just thought some really, really, really great stuff. I really enjoyed this film. Now, the ending is what people are going to talk about. Now, most of the world will not understand this ending, so I'm going to explain it a little bit here, okay? Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. At the end, Spike's gone off on his own because he just wants to sort of travel the country and see more. Now that he's had this sort of adventure with his dad and then an adventure with his mum, he goes off on his own. And like I say, this film's very punk rock and gritty and realistic, and that's just the way the film is. So he goes off on his own, and he's travelling, and you don't know how far he's gone, but he's obviously gone quite far. And then he starts getting chased by zombies. So he's running for his life, of course. And he comes to this sort of dead end. Like a natural dead end. He's between two cliffs. He's sort of in this walkway between these two cliffs. And he gets a sort of a dead end. And then he's in desperate need of help. And this guy appears in this red tracksuit, long blonde hair, like braces on his teeth and gold chains and stuff and rings. And he's like, "Do you need help?" And the boy's like, "I could use some help, yeah." And this guy in the tracksuit summons like a bunch of other guys in like bright tracksuits and wearing lots of bling. And they all jump down into the walkway and start Power Rangers style killing all of these zombies in like a real kind of different way than you've killed zombies for the rest of this movie. It's a real kind of stylized, silly thing, almost. It's a silly thing. Now, why am I bringing this up? And why am I saying that most of the world won't understand this? So, there is a man in the UK. Now, I'm just going to get up because I know of him, but he's a bit before my time. There's a man in the UK who died in 2011, and he was an entertainer. He was a media personality, a DJ, very eccentric. Now, he used to wear tracksuits and bling, and he used to have that long blonde hair. And why would there be a character at the very end of this gritty movie about zombies that's sort of based on this man? So this man, after he died, hundreds of allegations of sexual abuse were made against him. Like hundreds. Real dark stuff. Real predatory sex offender. And I think he's now got the reputation of being Britain's most prolific rapist, if I'm allowed to say that. And his name is Jimmy Savile. Now, the character at the end of this 28 years later, his name is Jimmy. And he's got all this bling, and he's got a tracksuit. He's Jimmy Savile. And it's like, that's fucking weird. And the rest of the world won't know the sort of feelings you have at the end watching this as a British person, because I'm guessing the rest of the world go, oh no, this little boy's in trouble. Ooh, he's just bumped into somebody who looks a bit eccentric, and now this eccentric person is saving him. Okay, a bit weird, but okay. How did I feel watching it? I'm like, the boy's in trouble, there's zombies chasing him, they're going to kill him. And then suddenly Jimmy Savile turns up. I don't feel like the boy is any safer with Jimmy Savile. In fact, Jimmy Savile is the personification of real evil. My camera just heated up and stopped. So, but it's okay. We've still got audio. But yeah, the little boy runs into fucking Jimmy Savile, Britain's most prolific rapist. You're like, oh no. That's the last person you want to run into in a zombie apocalypse. That's the very last person, especially as a young kid, you want to run into. That is, if there is evil in this world, that is real evil. That is it. And it's just such a strange ending. And as a British person, I guess you're experiencing that ending completely different to anyone else in the world who doesn't know who Jimmy Savile is. You're just like, who the fuck is this random guy saving this kid? I mean, lucky for the kid, I guess, but for us, we're watching it and we're going, oh no, this kid has bumped into this, basically a children's entertainer in Britain who's known for sexually abusing everyone. And you're like, damn, that's bad luck. So just the weirdest ending. You have to give it up for, is it Danny Boyle who directed this? You have to give it up for Danny Boyle because he takes big ass swings when he makes movies. And he took a massive swing here. I don't know if that paid off or if it's just utterly bizarre, but it is what it is. Like, I guess there's going to be a sequel. Maybe we'll see what happens. But yeah. Really weird ending, but all in all, I think I very much enjoyed this film. So that's been 28 years later, and that was just a film that I think I thoroughly loved. So yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Did you know that about the ending, about Jimmy Savile? yes, I'd love to know what you guys thought in the comments below. Sorry, my camera ran out of battery, but these things happen. Okay, these things happen. But please, just click that subscribe button, and I really, really appreciate you watching this video, and I love you with all of my heart. I really do. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.